Okay, well, welcome to Taco Sunday. It's another glorious day. We have a few minutes because I would actually like to make this episode a little short. Because of all the stress of us going into taco, we should all take a day off and have some time off to ourselves. So let's try to keep this to 45 minutes
And
today. Jake,
I didn't do the shopping for the big Mexican feast tonight, so I still have to go out and get that done. So I
more,
appreciate that.
more tacos.
Yeah,
And the way it looks to me, they should all be soft tacos. Because like Trump,
super soft,
they have
super
super
soft.
soft tacos, 1 inch super soft tacos. Are those bellinis? I think are bellini pastry.
At that point, it's just dumpling. It's not tacos anymore.
Okay, Wajeeh, tell us about your tacos Saturday/Sunday.
Well, I was just making falafel yesterday. They're big sided tacos. I was just making
Arab
sandwiches.
tacos.
I had my friends over. I made them Egyptian style tacos, Egyptian style falafel with
Same thing.
fries. The only thing that was missing was fried eggplants, but
Wait,
it had everything.
Do you put your fries in with your falafel?
Yes, you put fresh mint, you put hummus, you put spicy sauce, you put the pickles, you put a boiled egg in there, and then to top it off, you put some eggplant.
Boiled egg. Boiled egg has got to be Egyptian. Eggplant's got to be Iraqi. All right, I'm sorry, I shit you not. I in the 10
Lebanese.
10 years in and out of Iraq, every minute was either they were stuffed dolmas or stuffed eggplant in everything. It's like they didn't have anything.
It's beautiful.
That particular combo of the falafel sandwich in Saudi Arabia is called the brick.
The brick?
Because, yeah.
Wait, like Al-Hajar? That's a stuff.
No. We literally call it brick.
El brick.
Yeah, like literally a brick. Yeah, because if I'll fill you up, it has a boiled egg, it has fried eggplant, it has falafel, it has mint, it has hummus, it has everything in it. So if you're not full after that sandwich, I don't know what will make you full.
El brick. So, well, Wajeeh, I was reading part of my fiction book that I wrote it 5 years ago. And last summer, my literary agent's like, hey, your memoir's out. You should shift to fiction if you have a fiction. I go, funny you should mention, I had already finished 2 fiction novels. And I wrote to Wajeeh about this Saudi ISIS recruiter, and that is his headquarters is in a place in Dubai whose real name, this is a real place. Everything I wrote in this book is real. Everything. But the real name of the place is Operation Falafel. That's the name of the restaurant. And you can go online and look up the combinations they have at Operation Falafel. And he was drinking margaritas. He's drinking margaritas in there. So, which is good. So I'm glad we can have this time to be light because, it is light. Fortunately, crisis averted. And it turns out the interesting way that this came about. So it is Taco Sunday. I'm going to read to you Donald Trump's tweet that he made during this that got him out of Taco, his big, massive, biggest bombing. Anyway, as I was saying, by the way, the key components of this campaign were not there. B-1 bombers, B-52 bombers, B-2 bombers, nowhere in sight. We know that B-1 bombers are in England, but we saw no, you would have seen a massive air armada come up into the air. And also you would have seen all the tankers arrayed out in front of them. So if you said, Malcolm, 35 tankers are airborne over the Persian Gulf and Saudi Arabia, I go, there it is. Stand by. 5 p.m. Everybody's fucking getting hit. Didn't see it. By 5 p.m. yesterday evening, I was like, nah, it's not happening. And that's why I turned down going on Mario's show. I was like, look, I would like an evening off
Yeah.
if you guys wouldn't mind. And sure as shit, it did not happen. So let me bring up the Trumpian quote du jour, the total taco. Here, hold on. Actually, I saved it in the images and my photographs. In the meantime, here it is. Is this the one? No, this is the
I
one
can
that
bring
came
it
out.
up.
Could you bring it up? I got the one
I can
before it.
bring it up.
This is the one he put out on Friday. Now, I want Jacob will read the one on Saturday. Here's what he said on Friday. The USA is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic Iran at levels of, here's my favorite phrase. Bitch, you don't come out and say this out loud. At levels of military terror.
Strength
It's
and
like,
power.
one
Not
second.
seen since
Strength
World
and
War
power.
II.
Strength and military terror, strength and power not seen since World War II. Are you announcing that we're
Military
the
terror.
Nazis now?
Yeah.
We're the fucking SS? I
Yeah.
mean, they're the guys who did military terror.
Mhm.
Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and this is the quote, and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack that the parameters of a deal has been agreed to. Oh my God, they agreed to it again for the 10th time?
It's
Wow.
magic. It's magic.
This could include this is my favorite part because this is where Nacho comes in. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Strait of Hormuz. When I raise my voice into super shouty, Malcolm, that means it's on all caps. Okay. And an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based on
Clearly.
this request, I have agreed for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful and prosperous Iran to cancel the attack, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
You know, U.S. President, His Majesty Baba Trump, may God extend his life and make him live forever.
Saeed
He's
Rais.
the strongest man ever to live. You have to understand. You have to understand.
Please help
He
us.
he's the one that is going to make this deal happen. No one else. Tell us.
Exactly.
So if he says it's done, it's done.
The deal maker in chief.
Somebody
It's beautiful.
says,
And he'll save the world.
Somebody says, all I hear is Charlie Brown's teacher.
But the reality is, every time he does that, what he's really saying is that they need an oil break. Every time he does that, yeah, no, like seriously, they need an oil break. They need to refill tanks. They need to reload. And every time the U.S. is at this situation, they're like, hold on. 1 second. I'll be right back. You haven't prepared.
No. Well, do you have Mohammed bin Salman's statement on this? Because, of course, all of this was leaked to, and I originally saw it. It was in Hebrew by Barak Ravid. He put it out in Hebrew before he put it out in English. Okay? So, I guess he was speaking to the Israeli audience for Donald Trump, then put it out in Hebrew. But Barak Ravid at Axios said that he had already been given confirmation that Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, aka the man in charge, that the Prince Salman was the one who called Trump. This bullshit about Iran called him and begged him, that's getting pathological now. That's getting crazy. Now you're showing your dementia button. But Mohammed bin Salman called him. hold on, Waj, I'll
Yes.
let you read the quote. Mohammed bin Salman called him and was like, hey, 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 what you doing? What is this about leveling, devastating Iran? Because earlier in the week, the Saudis sent the defense minister, Khalid bin Salman, whose job it was to present the defensive misgivings of Saudi Arabia about, United States bombarding everything. And when Iran put that list of all the oil fields that they would lay waste to, KBS, Khalid bin Salman, came back and had a talk with MBS. And then lo and behold, MBS, fearing that this strike was imminent, most likely because of the U.S. statement for everyone to leave the Middle East, U.S. civilians to depart the Middle East, Mohammed bin Salman jumped on the phone and talked to Donald Trump. And what did he say, Wajeeh? What's the statement from the government of Saudi Arabia?
The dialogue happened over four main points. The first was he stressed the need to prioritize dialogue to reduce escalation. I'm quoting here. He emphasized the importance of achieving a calm that provides the way for a diplomatic solution. He also called for a measure that uh, preserve the regional security and stability. And then he warned against a wider conflict uh, that would affect the regional and international security and stability. Essentially, the Axios article was discussing the mixed messages the Trump administration is receiving from Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman versus Netanyahu himself, and where Netanyahu is asking for immediate escalation, and Crown Prince is saying, "The fuck you talking about? You need to slow down."
Mhm.
And that is exactly the mindset of the rest of the Gulf states. I could say very clearly here, having spent a couple hours listening to members of the Gulf states yesterday shout it out, and on X, they're not too happy about the situation. But
Is it,
they're
hold on. When you guys go to those forums, because I don't go to those forums, because as you know, the people are shouting and screaming at those forums. There's a lot of passion in those forums. I've been to a few when it was earlier pre-war, and it's like, whoa, whoa, you people are way out there. What is are these people who are expatriates or people who are in Saudi Arabia in the region, or they're expatriates living in like Europe and the United States?
I'm able to find them all. I'm able to find expats outside, and I'm able to find people from inside. At this point, I'm more interested on what people from within the inside have to think than the people on the outside.
And they're not worried
Um,
about surveillance and their opinions, or their opinions
I
are
don't know if
virtually
you know,
in
but
alignment.
now in Saudi Arabia, you can file a report on anyone, even if you don't know them, just over an app.
Wait, how much they give us?
You don't get anything.
Oh well, fuck it. I thought I might get some scratch off of you. So
No, but
I'd be filing reports on
they
you every day.
they changed it to one of the most like it's really it's a surveillance state at this point, but in addition to being a surveillance state, they allowed anyone to be able to snitch on anyone, just
Yeah,
anyone on
well,
it.
But it's,
well,
all this is happening. Iran knows how these things work. Iran did the exact same thing back in early April. And they, this follow these 2 weeks where they've been escalating with the Houthis, striking the Abqaiq oil fields and the pipeline to Yanbu and whatever they've done. And they've just escalated. And
Mhm.
then they published that big list of strikes. And, all the Gulf leaders are in panic. No, we don't want to get it destroyed. And that's why it happens. So
This is one of the,
for the
well,
Iranians, this is easy. They hold the deterrence. They hold the deterrence.
the difference between the Gulf state leaders and Trump is that the Gulf state leaders will go to Central Command. They'll have, Khalid bin Salman and all the rest of these guys actually ask the Americans, can the Iranians do this? Are these sites, is this outside of the ability of Iran to do it? Because they all have been struck. They have all been hit. They have been damaged critically in many different areas. But if Trump does this, the one consolation that they would want to know is, did you bring us in 500 new Patriot interceptors? And to do that, the United States would have to empty U.S. National Guard and U.S. Army inventories to give them the number of anti-missiles that they would need, because they would now have to move Patriot batteries down to these oil fields. And I'm sure the United States was like, no, you guys can do a $20 billion contract with Lockheed and Raytheon. It's like, for missiles to be delivered in 10 years? What, you're talking about attacking Saturday. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Ambassador L. Paul Bremer came to the Republican Palace in Baghdad, and I was in Baghdad when he made this decision that contractors were saying, hey, we need U.S. Army security on this contract. I worked for Bearing Point, which was a U.S. government contractor for all monies and financial processes in Iraq. The Iraq for Food, Oil for Food program, all sorts. The new dinars, the old dinars that they were collecting, the Iraqi gold reserves. It was crazy. Bremer was like, well, we don't have those fucking soldiers. And then he said, every contractor is responsible for his own security. And out of nowhere, the private military corporation, boom, exploded in the world. Right? Every ex-soldier in the world came there. This is what Trump, I suspect, said to the Saudis and the Gulf states. No, you need to defend yourselves. All right? We'll defend Israel and our bases, but you need to defend yourselves. And then you're like, y'all ain't doing this attack. There's no way we can allow you to do this attack. Because Trump only sees, I really think he sees them as just an ATM. He sees them as a source of money.
Does.
And he doesn't.
He does. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember Trump in Florida sat there in front of a room full of Saudi investors, and he told them right in front of their faces, "I make Mohammed bin Salman kiss my ass," several times.
You know what? If you invest with a comment like that, okay, you either are more interested in money or you don't see where your money will go in a period of time. That money will disappear. And let's be honest, their money is disappearing. If the Iranians do one more major hit on the Abqaiq end of the pipeline and the Houthis decide they want to put an end to Yanbu, which they could do with just one missile or one drone getting through at the right spot, then Saudi Arabia will be doing like that story I keep telling you about, right? They will be living on their investment income for the next 10 years. And that is a fraction of their oil and natural gas income, right? It's a fraction, but it's enough to pay salaries and everything. So I just find it absolutely fascinating that people that hurt themselves by seeing Trump as a wheeler dealer who has their best interests in mind. Trump's interests are only Trump, and geopolitically, would you make bets on some guy whose sole function in life is to take your money, call you and your religion, insult you by saying praise be to Allah, and antagonizing 15% of the Muslim world that would like to, overthrow the government of Saudi Arabia eventually and establish Shia Islam as the dominant branch of Islam? Why would you deal with a guy like that? And this is what kills me about the oligarch money world. There is no morals. There is no core.
No.
It's about, I'm making money, bitches. You can make money with me. I'll insult your mother. I'll insult your dog. I will steal from you. And maybe they understand that. It reminds me of this comment, this statement that I learned in Iraq, where they say about tribes, throw $1 in the middle, they'll fight with their teeth. you know, and it's like, hey, this is what they are motivated by. But I don't understand how the Saudis keep taking that. One other
No,
thing
well,
I'd like to go
to be
ahead,
honest,
please.
I don't think they do. I think
Oh,
they know what's the big problem, but there's just no way they can deal with it. So they're like, "What the hell do we do? We're in deep shit."
well, I don't know. Roger, do you think that they don't have anything they can do? I think they have an enormous amount of leverage. The
They
Saudis. We're
are
talking
already
principally the Saudis.
they're already
but
looking elsewhere for connection. They have
yeah,
lost they're already looking Ukraine, they're looking at the UK, they're looking at France, they're looking at Germany, they're looking at Italy.
So
Any
technically,
country, they're
are
outsourcing
you
the
talking about
Americans.
defense, or are you talking about defense, or are you talking
Everything,
about oil?
everything,
Everything.
everything.
So they're essentially going the way of Canada, right? Find other partners.
Yeah. That
somehow,
they
but it
let
takes time.
because the here you have to understand the history between the Saudis and Americans. Americans, a guy from California convinced the Saudi king to allow him to look into the Saudi desert and see if they have any oil.
Mhm.
After they found the oil, the United States all of a sudden became very interested in Saudi.
Yeah.
They convinced the Saudis to only sell the oil in American dollar. They
Right.
also, but based on that petrodollar relationship, there was other things established that the U.S. is solely responsible for the security of the Saudi kingdom. That the United States is there to ensure the flow of oil on behalf of the kingdom, that the United States to ensure a free trade on behalf of the kingdom. All of these things were based on, if you do these things for me, I rely on you for national security, I rely on you for economic security, I rely on you on everything. Once you prove that that is worthless to you anymore, our relationship that is transactional is worthless. I'm gonna be nice to you because I know you're stronger than me. I'm gonna show you good face, but in reality, I'm working elsewhere at the same time, starting everything else. I
Mm.
said this 4 months ago. The door will be shut on the United States face, but you won't even recognize when it happened.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is interesting. Well, the reason I bring all this up
it's
is
what I've
because
called superpower harakiri
on Saudi's part or on our part, because we've
on the
already
U.S.
done it.
part.
Oh
On
yeah,
the
we've
U.S.
already
part,
done it.
yeah, but it's another example of it.
Trump is
It's another example of it.
Well, it's because it's not even Harry Carey. I think it's murder suicide because Trump is doing all of this on his own for his own personal benefit and the benefit of his friends in the stock market. He is murdering the American public that holds that up. And yeah, at some point, that's going to break. The relationships around the world's going to break. And it's like, I'm going to kill you by stealing your money, starving you, impoverishing you. And then in the end, we're going to do something stupid that destroys us as a superpower. It's murder
Yeah.
suicide. He's murdering Saudi Arabia. He's murdering the Gulf state. He's killed Bahrain. Bahrain and Kuwait, I'm not sure whether they're in Qatar. I'm not sure whether they will ever be able to see themselves unless, like Wajeeh says, unless they run out and they get Turkey to be there and to replace the United States, to come out and say, all U.S. forces leave Kuwait, all U.S. forces leave Bahrain, all U.S. forces
Yeah.
out of Qatar, and Turkey takes the counterbalance to Iran because, let's be honest, Turkey's got an army big enough to not only fight the Iranians, but invade Iran. if they had ever wanted to. They have the technological know-how to defend against everything the Iranians have. But that would leave Saudi Arabia and the Emirates to have to make some hard decisions. The Emirates made a hard decision by signing the Abraham Accord, right? They aligned themselves with Israel and the United States. And they're the hardest line guys, but they did actually get attacked the most, more than anybody else during this war. So, and key question, they may have shot down 500 ballistic missiles. Do you have another 500 interceptors? Is another question, because the Iranians got another 500 ballistic missiles. And if this war goes into pause for another year, they may have 5,000 ballistic missiles. So it's something that we all will have to discuss. I don't know if you guys read paper newspapers, but I read only one paper newspaper that actually has predicted the future quite well. It's like reading as if I was writing for it. And that is The Onion. This is not a paid advertisement, but I do, in fact, read the paper version of The Onion. And I found this one, which is pretty much what's going to come next, which is, see if you can read this headline.
Trump
Can you read it?
indicates desire for speedy end to the world.
So Trump indicates desire for a speedy end to the world. Trump, I like the subtitle, right? President says he may soon bring human activity to a halt. This isn't funny. A year ago, he would have said, President swears he will destroy mountain to get Iranian ballistic missiles. Yeah, that would have been a joke article a couple of years ago. Now it's all happening. So, yeah, I do actually like The Onion. I've been dying to use that headline. Well, we have an opportunity, a small pause. One other thing, we got that. The next question that we need to ask ourselves is, does this show that Benjamin Netanyahu is on the outs now? That Mohammed bin Salman is actually the person who is calling the shots for Washington with relationship to Iran? Because Israel was, I don't know if you guys watch Israeli news. I actually get it in real time, multiple real time feeds from analysis groups there. And Israel was poised for war last night. The IAF had refueled and had brought every aircraft down, maintenance, and were preparing to go straight up in the air. So Israel was ready for war, and Mohammed bin Salman turned it off. What do you think?
Yeah. But I think the pendulum will swing again. And we'll have Netanyahu and blah, blah, the Israelis, and then this crazy shit will go another round, and then the Mohammed bin Salman and the Gulf Arabs will come back and say, no. It's just, I think we're just seeing pendulum swings.
Well, I have a serious question there, Waj. I'm going to ask you. The fuck did Trump get this? They agreed the Strait of Hormuz would open completely and fully. Does he do meth? I know. What's his name? Elon Musk does ketamine.
I have a new one now. Trump actually has these tendencies. He likes to be humiliated. So he's actually got these sadomasochistic tendencies.
He's got a humiliation kink?
Yeah, I think that's it. Not a word about penetration.
However slight. Watch it, man. You missed all the good
humiliation.
I'm just looking at Arab news.
I think that the Crown Prince was able to get Trump to reconsider. Obviously. But who's really at the driver's seat? It's Iran.
Of course.
They hold deterrence.
We talked about this yesterday. I've been banging Mario Nawafal's show about it. Okay. Escalation dominance and the tempo of this war is now controlled by Iran.
Yep.
They can make it go up. They can make it go down. They can make it go up. They
Yep.
can make it go down.
I don't want to be right, but that's the fact. This is
Fact
it's
check.
we don't want this. I don't want Iran to be at the driver's seat, but when I'm looking, you can see Saudi Arabia be desperate. You can see Qatar be desperate. You can see Pakistan be desperate. You can see Oman be desperate and beg the United States to do something different. But that is different than being in the driver's seat, because all you can do is you can say, Trump, forget about your plans. We can't even afford to pay for your projects anymore. Forget about the investments, because we can't afford to pay you anymore. We can't even afford to pay our people anymore. Saudi Arabia is at $50 billion deficit at the moment. Deficit
Mm.
over their budget, for the first time in their history. They're
I
having to
fucking
call the international bank and borrow money.
So wait. So essentially, Trump has bankrupted a second casino because Saudi Arabia is nothing but a casino. All right. They make money by existing. Their sand generates interest. And I've never heard this that Saudi Arabia is in a deficit. Wallahi.
Deficit.
Wallahi.
Their defense needs are going to exceed $50 billion. Right? Replace everything. And, I'm going to point something out to you. The flaunted Saudi Air Force has done almost nothing in this war. Have you guys heard anything about Saudi fighter planes chasing down, shooting down Shaheeds and showing videos? No. Air defense is the whole thing. And even in bringing in Ukrainians. But they put about 90% of their money, their effort into the Air Force, F-15s, F-35s, whatever they want to buy now. But
Yeah.
maybe they need to shift their priorities, in order to do it. But a Saudi deficit? Well, Trump has bankrupted another casino. Saudi Arabia used to just makes money by existing.
Yeah.
Oh, UAE is also in a deficit. Qatar is in a deficit. Kuwait is in a deficit. I just mentioned Saudi Arabia. Bahrain is in a deficit.
100. Let's look at this 100 days out, guys. I let's project here because I know we've actually gone longer than I wanted to go today. I wanted to give everybody a nice Sunday off to go get flowers or do like me, go take a run, and play with the dogs. Are we looking? My projection is very simple. We will be right where we are in 100 days,
Yeah.
with one exception. One exception: if the Gulf states collectively get together with Iran and say, Iranian Oman Gulf states managed traffic separation scheme will collect a fee, and it will be proportionally shared with the two big countries that are doing all the work, Oman and Iran. If they don't
Yeah.
agree to that, and then the Gulf states taking one nominal 1% each, right? Just to say it. And the Iranians, of course, will insist that no U.S. warship ever enter the Gulf. Everyone else, halas, please welcome.
Yeah.
Kuwaitis, French, British,
Yeah.
whoever you want, no U.S. warship. If they agree to that, the Strait of Hormuz will 100% open again.
Yeah.
And you'll see a French-led task force come down and sweep all the mines. But it would require the United States be pushed out of the Gulf. That could happen, and that will take Mohammed bin Salman having to go to explain to Trump that you want one of two things. You can have total war, which you're doing, or you could have the global economy get back into track. But we're going. Everyone's predicting global recession, by the way, right now because of oil.
Here's one or two issues with that. Crown Prince wants to shut the door on Trump's face without telling him. And two, they can't control Trump regardless.
Yes, true. That's very true. But we're not talking about the control of Trump anymore. We're talking about the control of the Strait of Hormuz. And I've said this before many times during the 155 days we've been on this show. All they have to do to Trump is say, hey, listen, we have suffered enormous losses in this.
Mhm.
Right now, we are going to buy more interceptors, more whatever. But we cannot do Trump Central Park Riyadh at this moment. We're gonna put that off for 5 years, right? Once we regenerate our income after this comes on. That's a bigger threat than Iran to him, right? Cutting his vanity project. Same thing with Abu Dhabi. I think it's in Dubai. They were going to have like Trump Tower Dubai or something like that.
What I
And the golf course in Dubai was going to be named Trump International
I
or something.
I agree with you on that. What I was referring to is the Trump venture over the Strait of Hormuz. One, two. He wants if he sees the Gulf state all accepting, allowing Iran having co-ownership over the Strait of, he's gonna attack Iran. He's gonna attack Iran.
That's going to
That
happen.
is
That is
then
going to happen.
then what's to stop Iran from attacking the Gulf states again?
No. I'm just saying that the Gulf states now will not be aligned with the United States if they come to an agreement. If there is a Muscat agreement which they've already agreed to, the Gulf states have already agreed with the Muscat proposal. The only reason that this is like a fucking bad episode of Peaky Blinders, it's because they just haven't agreed to the percentage of that. And if you guys have ever go see the hand grenade scene called the Hamilton Christmas scene from Peaky Blinders, where they're negotiating the control of this guy's stake, right? And the one guy comes in, he has a guy with a gun. He goes, "You're going to give me 100% of your business," and he's like, "I'm not giving you shit." And then he goes, "Well, 65%." And he goes, "When I came in, I put a hand grenade under all your whiskey barrels, and it's going to explode and burn this place down with me, you in it, because I'll already be dead. I don't care." And he finally got the guy down to 35%, right? Which is where he wanted to sell at anyway. Iran is Thomas in Peaky Blinders. He don't give two fucks. He has a lot of combat experience under his belt. He will shoot you in a goddamn minute, but he would rather negotiate and maneuver than have to come out and kill you. But if it has to be a gun battle, it's going to be a good one. So this is where Trump is screwed up.
That's why sometimes there's a little drone flying and just making a dent here and there. And they say, well, it'll be a shame if something big happened.
Something happens to your oil refinery, right? Yeah. God almighty. I can't believe I've just made Iran the good guys in Peaky Blinders. But, they're criminals. They're still a criminal enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
مجتبى شلبي ها مجتبى شلبي خامنئي.
Yeah. I shit you not. The Iranians will come out with a Lego video as them, Mujtaba Khamenei and the spokesman for the IRGC dressed as Peaky Blinders. Then I will know they're watching this show.
Yeah.
Writing down everything we say.
That's a good idea.
Okay, let's shift to one last subject, and that will be it for today. We'll go to questions. Trump made this crazy, screwy announcement the other day that the Board of Peace announced that there was a ceasefire agreement and that Hamas with tears in their eyes, Jacob, it's always tears in their eyes, came to him and said, Sir, Hamas,
we'll lay down our arms.
We are going to lay down our arms. Arms, even the ones that are hidden underground. We bring them up, we lay them down. We are surrendering to you because you are the great power, the Board of Peace.
Saeed Rais Trump.
Saeed Rais Abu Baba.
Saeed Rais Trump.
Abu Salam. Father of
I'm
peace.
looking if I have a white flag somewhere. I don't, but he wants a white flag.
Father, wait, halas. It's time to do the dance.
Know what? I have an analysis here. It's the impact that the good Lukashenko is having, the dictator from Belarus who's on the Board of Peace. That's his brilliant idea, because this board is so superb, and good people on the board.
So here's the
Lukashenko. So he
yeah,
knows how to get
Lukashenko.
the Hamas
Fucking
to behave. Fucking idiot.
Okay.
Ugh.
So anyway, he made this announcement. It was an official announcement of the chairman, executive officer, chief executive officer of the Board of Peace, Donald John Trump, recipient of the first Board of Peace Prize. But anyway, he announced that Hamas had surrendered completely and utterly and said they will 100, not even 100, 200% disarm themselves and give all the weapons. And then, and only then, they will lay down their arms. And what they didn't say was ... And then you will ethnically cleanse 2 million people and make us walk to Jordan. And you will turn this into a goddamn resort the way that you told the world you did, and even worked up a master plan with a concept art.
The Gaza Riviera.
25 fucking kilometer Riviera.
The
God bless
Gaza
her.
Riviera.
I always bring up.
That morning during the first, was it 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency, when they brought out that crazy stuff about the Gaza Riviera, I refused to get out of bed. I'd had so much. We had all the Greenland shit going on. We had, I don't know how much shit going on.
And then said, I refuse to get out of bed.
I had been on TV every day talking about what crazy nonsense was happening now. And then he comes up with Gaza Riviera. I just stayed in bed. I said, I don't want to go out today. And I think by midday, I got out of bed and went on TV and said, this is not going to solve anything ever. This is the stupidest ever.
I know I always reference my beloved late wife, who was a mega projects landscape architect. And this is the sort of thing that she would have been tapped to do, which is to make up a concept master plan of a 25-kilometer long project. They would have handed her company or whatever, like tens of millions of dollars to do this. And I could almost see what that conversation in real life would have been. Look, her ghost slapped me because it was such a stupid idea. Okay. She would have said, what? Bullshit. Whoa. Slap me in the head. Who is the idiot company that was like, we will do the concept plan for this? This is like them choosing you to design Hitler's new Berlin after you used Nazi atomic bombs to destroy London and New York, right? Who's the company that thought, hey, we'll do the master plan for this. This will be a great concept drawing. Oh my God, you're right. This is stupid. So anyway, show of hands. Who here believes that Hamas unilaterally surrendered, disarmed, and is now going onto the Board of Peace? You believe it, Wajeeh? You believe it?
No, I thought you said who didn't.
Who believes it? Who believes it? Okay, you don't believe it. By the way, here's the funny part. Who is the biggest opposition to this Board of Peace plan? Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu. They want no part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
The Board of Peace.
The Israelis don't want them to disarm. Okay, or they don't believe it, right? I don't know. So anyway, that's enough comedy for today. Let's go to questions. Oh my God. Let's go have a nice day
before
off.
we go to questions, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I sent you that a link to that video. So tomorrow you do the forensics.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll discuss what we can say about Damietta on that basis. The drone
Jacob
that
supposedly
went
has
to
a video of a Shahed drone hitting those tankers in Damietta, which is what I said. I want to see a video. If I don't see a video of a Shahed drone, if I don't see that, then it ain't it. You said here's a video. So
that's a video.
I do not want to be wrong on this particular subject. I want to be wrong on this particular subject. This is not.
I haven't seen it, verified with geolocation and stuff.
I want to hear.
So let's just. Yeah. It's the brrr. It's the moped, all right.
How do you not know it's AI?
Check it. Check it.
All right, well, let's go to questions. There's a lot of questions. I put the questions up at about 5 this morning because I couldn't. I mean, by midnight last night, we had the full taco going. So I'm glad that we have some amusing things to talk about here Let's go over some of the questions. Malcolm from Edo Amin, Edo Amin, Holy War Desk. That's a good
You
name.
do.
Holy war
Malcolm.
desk.
Malcolm. There is a desk at every op area. There is a Holy War desk. All right. In most intelligence divisions. You know, Waj is the Gulf states desk, right? Jacob is the Iraq analysis desk. Okay. Your meth speculation. I humbly suggest Amin's razor. Never attribute to stupidity, which could be adequately explained by pharmacology. I don't doubt it. What is he? He's an Adderall addict. Isn't Adderall and an upper
It's a stimulant. It's a stimulant
stimulant?
closer to cocaine or heroin.
That's his drug of choice, and there is a lot of documentation about that he abused Adderall for a very long time. Michael C says, "I think you're missing the point about Netanyahu and the Crown Prince. Those tensions are arbitrage opportunities, and Scott Bessent is an arbitrager, exacting value from the tensions. The direction of follow the money has never been more true, and surprise, surprise, it's Scott Bessent behind the curtain." Okay, I'll check it out. Malcolm, are you going to be on the American Power podcast with Mr. Global? Yes, I am. He and I are coordinating right now to do each other's podcast. We may have him on the show. I haven't figured out who I'm kicking off, Jacob or Wajeeh, or both of you, to
I
have
meant meth
Mr.
or cocaine. Sorry, meth or
Meth
cocaine.
or cocaine. That's fine. Somebody says, we have taco, we have burrito, we have chili and tofu. Here's another talk. Tamale. Trump always maintains a losing engagement. It's a winner. It goes on the list. We have taco, we have tofu, we have tamale, we have burrito. All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da. He says, I think the reason Trump backed off because the Saudi prince gave Trump a buttload of money to Taco. I don't think this was a money exchange. Trump's money is inherent in the stability of the kingdom. And I think he just explained to him that, hey, we really are going to have to cut down on a lot of projects. We
Forget
can't have
about it.
this war. We can't have this war. So let me see. Da-da-da-da-da. Were 3 F-35s destroyed at an Iranian attack on the Jordanian airfield or not? That was an Iranian claim. There's no evidence of it. I watch a lot of the open source people who actually look at that runway pretty hard, and we're not seeing any evidence of it. They may have actually hit one of the hangars. Doesn't mean there were aircraft in it. Let me see. Somebody said maybe it's Shuffleback Sunday. Somebody said, I listen. This is from Charo Karzuk. I listen to you and your crew almost every day and love your show. You have talked about how sometimes it feels like the script of a movie. I think there's more to that than meets the eye. I think Trump might be a guy who gets his ideas from movies. Yes, we have determined he does. The entire Venezuela campaign was in the novel A Clear and Present Danger. Instead of destroying the boats, they were shooting down drug smuggling aircraft extra legally, just killing them. And since they stopped using aircraft because they don't carry the amount of marijuana that they or cocaine that they need, they went to submarines and high speed boats. And we've killed over 230 civilians, and that is eventually going to be brought to the Hague. That is a war crime. You have no idea who those people are, even if it's full of the first boat they sank had 16 people in it, and all the survivors said that it was actually a ferry between Venezuela and Turks and Caicos. No, not Turks and Caicos. What's the next country over? Trinidad, Tobago.
Curacao. Okay.
Yeah,
Trinidad.
and that it was just a little shuttle. It had no bales of anything in it, and they killed 14 of the 16 passengers. Yeah. Iran's foreign minister. That didn't happen. Is this Iran? I like he says, hey, if that didn't happen, is this Iran in the White House talking to you now? Is it in the room with you, Donald? Yeah, Trump always he just has a need to pathologically lie and say, Iran called, Iran called. Iran never calls, right?
No,
Or you have the Pakistanis are lying for him. And they
yeah,
just know if they say the Iranians called me, they didn't call you. Shit.
it's
The Iranians are like,
stupidity.
did we call the Americans? Because who called? None of us called.
Who called?
We were
What do you
all
call
having kebabs.
what do you call it when you like have your own insecurities and you reflect it on others?
It's called projection. It's
That's exactly
psychological
what he's
projection.
doing. That's
And he
exactly what
does.
he's doing.
So somebody said who was in Trump's ear. That was Juanita wanted to know who was in Trump's ear. Mohammed bin Salman just came out and said, you can't do this. Can't do it. You'll
Yeah.
devastate our economies. Ken from Istanbul. Hey, Ken. I couldn't wait to get to Istanbul, man. I ordered some Turkish delight yesterday. It's really expensive here in the United States. And there is an actual Turkish bakery about 2.5 hours south of me. If I go to Manhattan, I can get it. But there's a Turkish bakery in Middletown, New Jersey. And I mean, it is full on. It's like going to Istanbul. They have giant trays of Turkish delight and baklava and everything you have. And one day I was just there and there was a coffee house and I saw the coffee house. I was going to get a coffee and it was coffee that you press out of a container, that they pre-make. And it was just regular coffee in a styrofoam cup. I looked across the street. I saw a Turkish bakery and I went running over there. They cut me a Turkish medium sugar. It was so damn good. And then I look and there's trays of Turkish delight. And yesterday I was ready to jump in the car and get Turkish delight. So I'll wait till I get to Istanbul.
I
Who said,
offered to buy a baklava the other day, and you're like, no, no, I can't do it.
bro, I my blood sugar already spiking just thinking about it. I have another inquiry. How likely Iran and Ukraine clash in conflict in parallel with the U.S.-Iran conflict? Ukraine hit sanctions Iranian vessels in the Caspian Sea, as we know, and Iran threatened to retaliate, launching ballistic missiles. Iran doesn't have those missiles to spare. They don't. Can Ukraine stand additional ballistic missile attacks from Iran? Yes. They would rather. No, Iran needs all the weapons they can get right now. They're bringing in stuff from Russia. Hope that answers
Yeah.
your question. Finally, Dave says, so Trump reneges or providing Ukraine the technology to license the Patriot missile. We knew that shit was going to happen. No one should ever trust him. There is a call for 10 batteries of the French SAMP-T missile to be transferred immediately over there. And that would be the beginning of the end of patriots in Europe. Because if there is a weapon system that proves effectively as Patriot or better than Patriot, like the SAMP-T, which the French is just starting to field. So the French would have to make a calculation that they're not going to need those ballistic missile launchers, those anti-missile launchers for a couple of years. But if they give them to Ukraine, what do you say?
But let me just explain. The problem with the SAMP-T is there's not enough ammunition produced. There are not enough Aster missiles for the SAMP-T. Denmark has invested in... Yeah. But still, we produce way too little in Europe. Essentially because it's the French and the Italians that have to make the investments. And, there's not like bulk European investment, which is stupid.
Time to do
a huge problem. And we should have done that.
To lead
but let me just explain how things work in Europe. Because what has happened since is the Ukrainians who are actually at war and want to survive. They're way quicker than us stupid Europeans. So they've developed their own system called Freya. So the Ukrainians and the Europeans are together trying to develop the Freya and the SAMP-T. As I said, there's still not enough investment in the actual missiles that's called Aster missiles, Aster 30s.
Yeah, Aster.
But it's going to happen. But I think actually the Ukrainians will turn out to be quicker. So it'll be the Ukrainian Freya system that will eventually be the most important.
Do you know
By
the
next year.
Ukrainians are good at making rockets because they built all the boosters for the Soyuz missiles in the Soviet missile program. I mean, Ukraine was the largest missile producer in Europe at one point when it was part of the Soviet Union. All they need is a high-tech seeker, right? And it has to be compatible with existing missile launchers. And it's really about the number of sections that will boost that thing into space. And if they want one, the Jordanian, not the Jordanians, some Syrian people captured a THAAD boost seeker, a hole that didn't explode. I mean, I would go down there, I'd put a couple of million on the table for that seeker, and I would just reproduce it. But it's really up to the Europeans. They need to do a crash program to get that off the ground so that in a year, 2 years, things are going. Somebody said that they froze up, some of this froze up when we were talking about the Board of Peace. The Board of Peace made an announcement that Hamas had decided to unilaterally disarm and surrender to the Board of Peace. And no one believes a fucking word of it. That's what we were talking about there.
And yet, as of 50 seconds ago, the death toll in Gaza has risen to 14.
I'm going to tell you guys something. Early on in that war, I'm going to make a confession here. Early on in that war, I saw the death tolls when we were reaching 2, 3, 5, 7, even 15,000. I saw that is the numbers that combat would produce in an environment like that. I cannot explain or understand the number 70,000. I can't. And I cannot understand how 157 fucking civilians got killed yesterday, unless your army just doesn't give a fuck about human life. I served in an armed force where honor and the protection of innocence was our number one job. Now I've got Hegseth out there, talking like he's just going to start mass murdering people when he doesn't
Trump
get it.
wants to
So
spread
someone explain
military terror. He said that in his Truth Social post. Military terror.
As they say in black churches, laws and laws and laws. Somebody's got to do something about this.
Take him to the Hague.
There's no reason 157 fucking civilians should be killed in a day. Somebody has to explain that to me. All right. I know our friend John Spencer at West Point very early on in the war went out there and said that the Israeli army was the most ethical and moral army operating in the highest levels of honor. I know I'm probably going to lose some followers on this. I am not seeing that anymore.
No.
Okay? I'm not seeing that.
He has a bias, unfortunately. He has a lot of insight, but he was
bought in just after me. I was waiting to go to Gaza with the Israeli army, and he made it. And then Netanyahu called him in personally. And, love John, good guy. I gave him his first. How he went there and he didn't get his ass a fucking Hamas battle flag. I had to give him one of mine. All right. I got several Hamas battle flags. And, but guys, y'all going to have to recalibrate back to being an army of honor. It just can't be an army of destruction.
No.
It just can't be. So, you want to kill, if you come up 157 civilian combatants and 157 rifles, okay, good shooting. But we are pretty sure that's not what's going on. And now I got Jared Kushner and Donald Trump advocating ethnic cleansing and, the Board of Peace saying that they've decided to disarm. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This world is just way too fucking crazy for us to even go into Ceuta. By the way, Ceuta, turns out I may have been right. Congressman John Massey says that bill that was bill that was marked up in committee in April, the Republican caucus believed that they were giving Morocco permission in April to take Ceuta and Melilla back from Spain.
Yeah.
We're going to have another special show about Ceuta and Melilla. That one,
I'm ready.
Ooh, that's some Tom Clancy shit going on there. That was pure Belarusian migrant warfare going on there. We'll have to see how it shakes out. All right, guys, thanks for coming to today's show. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Charlotte Williams says espressos are on her when I come to LA. So I'm going to remember you said that. We will see you tomorrow, since there may not be a war, but there may be airstrikes tonight. You never know.
Jacob was trying to say something. No?
Jacob?
No, I just want to say see you tomorrow.
Khalas?
Oh, I thought you were trying
Okay.
to say something.
Wajeeh? Khalas?
Yes, I'll see you
All right,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Become paid
See you all tomorrow.
subscribers, okay?
Oh, yeah. Become paid subscribers. We only ask $7. And you get to come in this insanely awesome, hilarious chat that's over here. I literally did not look at the chat today. It's too funny. All right, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye-bye.